I want to talk a little bit about recruiting because it is a skill that I believe that every leader needs to have in order to effectively not just run a ministry, but to disciple people. You can't disciple someone that you haven't invited into the process. I mean, look at Jesus. He had 12 disciples, all of which were there because he invited them to follow him. And so, instead of looking at recruiting as just filling in holes or a numbers game, I would like to encourage you to consider it more of a discipleship tool. When we disciple someone, we're believing that God has more for a person. And maybe he can do it through KidVenture. KidVenture isn't just about the kids. It's about transforming the lives of everyone who participates within the umbrella of our ministry. So that includes parents, volunteers, and kids. And that serving others is part of what it means to follow Jesus. Now, with kids ministry, it does feel like there's always a need for volunteers. Even if your Sundays are fully staffed, there's always a sense of wanting to do more if only there were enough people. And so my first point in terms of serving is I want you to consider these verses from Matthew chapter 9. And it says, Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. And so this process needs to be covered in prayer and petition before God to send people to serve his kids and families. The second step is you need to identify who to recruit. And I'm not talking about the shout-outs from the stage, as the reality is they're not super effective. I mean, sure, you may get a few people, but the amount of work and effort, and then do they all really follow through? Not always. Who do you know that you think would be a good fit for KidVenture? How do you know if someone is a good fit for that? We like to use the acronym FAT. Are they faithful? Are they available? And are they teachable? What do you know about this person that would make them a good fit for the job that you want to recruit them for? Think through these questions, and I want to encourage you guys to make a list of 10 or so people that you feel like could serve in KidVenture. Get out a piece of paper and actually write these names down. So, now that you've identified some potential people, let's talk about the how do I get them in. And there's just a few things I want you to remember. Number one, just because someone says no, it does not mean you did a bad job recruiting. It just might mean they aren't interested or even available. Don't let those no's get you down. It's very easy, trust me. And don't say no for someone. Don't not try to recruit someone just because you think they'll say no. Now, recruiting has two parts, vision and a job description. For vision, this is the why is kids ministry important? Why are kids important to God's kingdom? How do families and parents fit into that story? Second, I would add in, how has serving affected you? How have you grown and changed by serving? So the second part of the vision statement is, what is it about this person you're talking to that makes a great fit? What are some of their giftings that you see that would make them a great fit for this role? Are they great with kids and so you think they would be great as a small group leader? Or are they administratively inclined? So maybe behind the scenes it would be great for them. 1 Corinthians talks about how we all have different gifts designed to come together as one body to serve others. So how do their gifts serve our kids and families? Share that with them. Once you've got the vision piece, you do need to set some guardrails around what the person will be doing. And we do that in the form of a job description. How often are we asking them to serve? What exactly are we asking them to commit to? By not being clear around expectations, you can very easily frustrate somebody or yourself. As I said earlier, recruiting is a skill that I believe anyone can get better at by practicing. And so, attached to this video is some homework that you can use to help you grow in the art of recruiting.